How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. Not just another review, though. Mystery beers. Yes, the mystery beers. Love me some mystery beers. If you don't know them, basically, people give me beers, and they're wrapped. I don't know what they are. Nothing. No idea what's in here, but I'm going to drink it, and we're going to talk about it. This one comes again from Chris. Listen, he's keeping this rolling. It's not going to last forever, though. So, if you ever want to, if you want to see the mystery beers continue on, please reach out to me. I'd love for you to send me some. I'm not necessarily asking you just like, please send me beer begging or whatever, but it's a fun thing to do, and I can't do it on my own. It's something that has to be done by somebody else. This is the third round of mystery beers he's given me, so we're probably pushing around 40 mystery beers that he's given me so far. So, thank you very much, dude. So yeah, let's dive into it. It's a mystery beer. Don't know anything about it. Let's open it up. A little hiss there, a little smokiness. And what do we have? Oh. What do we got here? This looks dangerous. This looks dangerous. I don't know. This reminds me from a distance, just by its look, it looks like a big English kind of style barley wine. Something funky, something old, something big in ABV. That's the vibe I get from a distance. Could be totally wrong with it. But what we have here, not a big head. Again, another reason why I think it has a bit of oomph to it, a bit of age on it. And it just looks like dirty, filthy doo-doo water in a beautiful way. Just kind of like an apple cider vibe to it. Like that homemade apple cider you see on the side of the roads here in the Northeast so much. Oh, yeah. Kind of scared. Intrigued. Let's get a nose. I love that. That's my favorite. Oh, yeah. Man, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. What is this? I've had this beer before. It's an English barley wine. Or it's an American old ale with some time on it. It's an English influenced, big, huge, either old ale or barley wine. It's very reminiscent of a haired dog beer. Yeah, big, rich, kind of maltiness, but it's not too old because I'm not getting a ton of like raisin vibes off of it. I'm not getting like that kind of datey, figgy, raisiny thing. I'm getting more just a rich kind of caramel malt that's going to kind of eventually kind of fledgling and turn into something that has a kind of bit of oomph to it. Now, I had this in my normal fridge, so you're probably looking about, I'm moving, so beers are flying everywhere around my house. But this is probably closer to low 40s than 50, which is normally where I like to do my beers. So it is a bit colder. I'm not going to do a whole long video trying to let this warm up and stuff like that. But we're talking about a big barley wine. We're talking about big ABV here. That's what I'm getting on the nose. Could change in the taste. And this has rich bigness. There might be a bitterness to it. It could be like an American strong ale. Again, I'm getting just those hair to dog vibes from it. So I just gotta dive in and see what she tastes like. Cheers. Yeah, buddy. Rocket fuel. Straight up rocket fuel. This is a hair dog beer. This has got to be a hair of a dog beer. This is. This is like an Adam. It's not a Matt. I'm trying to think of what other beer it could be. I'm just getting big kind of caramel notes. I'm getting that fresh, datey thing. Booze abounds, but in a good way. It's almost like a delivery system for some beer. It could be, you know what this could be? This could be, if it's not hair to dog, it's got to be like a Avery Samael kind of beer. Yeah, just rich caramels, rich dates, rich figginess. It's not in that pruny kind of raisiny thing yet. That'll come with time. It's just big, boozy, sweet, delicious. Fucking hair on fire. Awesome, old school, old ale barley wine stuff. That's what it is. So I'm guessing, if I'm going to gun to my head, it's got to be a hair to dog beer or like the Avery, like a Sam Ale. I always confuse all the hair to dog names. So I don't know if it's a Fred or an Adam or something like that. I always confuse which one's which. But it's got to be one of those beers. If it's not one of those beers, it's one of those beers. Someone drank one of those beers and then made one like it. So I'm just gonna unwrap it because it's got to be. Let's see if we can find where the tape ends here. I found it. I'm kind of impressed with that, to be perfectly honest with you. So we have here. Oh, it's Dogfish Head. Is this it's Fort. Okay, it kind of makes sense. A little bit different of a beer, but it kind of makes sense. I haven't had this beer in forever. It's ale. That's raspberry juice. That's that fruitiness I'm getting, and it's kind of like, okay, I know there's something more to it. That really makes sense. I mean, Fort is what they call a fruit beer, but I believe it's a Danger Cap, right? Is this the one that? Yeah, it's a Danger Cap, so it's an orange cap. It's got to have the ABV on there. I don't think it does. Fermented with over a ton of raspberries, this raspberry Belgian style ale is made to age with the best of them. Okay, it has 2 years, almost 2 years on it. A year and a half, more like it. It makes sense, because that's kind of the way it comes off to me. I don't feel like I've really missed that from a bit. The fruited portion of the show, yes, I didn't call them the raspberries, but I was getting that fruited thing. It definitely came off like a Fig Newton kind of thing. Like if you kind of think of Fig Newton, raspberry Fig Newton, I should have picked up on that. That I didn't get. Now, the Belgian portion of the show, they talk about Belgian. Listen, Belgian yeast is usually not going to be able to kind of propagate to the point where this beer got to. So I've had this before. I've never thought about actually really fresh. It comes out a little bit more Belgian vibes with some age on it. Not so much. Like I said, there's no ABV on here that I can see. It might be on here, but it's been rubbed off maybe. But Danger Caps, I believe, from Dogfish. I want to say start at 14 or 15% ABV. So it's a big, huge beer. Listen, I dig it. I like this. The higher ABV, the Danger Cap stuff from Dogfish Head has always been kind of something near and dear to my heart. It's just tasty. It's fun. The way it sits now, especially being about a year and a half old. I get those raspberries like they're punching me in the face now. I feel like a dum-dum. Man, I should have got that. Yeah, that's so interesting. That's one of the reasons I love doing this. And two, it's so cool to see how your brain changes it. Listen, I don't attest that I know anything. What I'm doing, or that I'm a professional at tasting beer. I just like tasting beer. I like talking about it, so I do this. But I feel like I have a good grasp on what's what. And this is like the thing that really turns me on, because it's like you get all these kind of flavors and you kind of hash them out in your brain. And then when you kind of reveal it and you know what's in it, if it's something that is markedly different, but at the same time you should get it afterwards, it was there. I don't think it's a brain thing to where your brain is switching flavors. I think it's more just a skill thing, a perceptual thing, to where you can pick out bits and pieces. Now you're talking about huge ABV beers that have age on them. There's a little bit of blurred lines when it comes to that kind of stuff. At least I hope there is. Makes me look a little bit better, but it's tasty and it's fun when you do this kind of stuff. This is stuff I kind of implore people, and I've said it before in other blind stuff I've done. Do it. Just do it. Have other people, have your friends do this to you every now and then. It's just a fun exercise to go through. Now that I know what it is, definitely getting a raspberry in there. And it's not like a raspberry jamminess. It's more like if you cut the core out of a raspberry, had the flesh, but you left some seeds in there and mashed it all up. So you're getting that kind of earthy, kind of seediness along with that raspberry, but it has some age on it. Again, that's kind of where my date figgy thing came in there. I'm getting a rich kind of caramels from it. Now, the Belgian portion of the show, maybe some date figgy stuff came from that too, but I highly doubt it at this point. I think the malt and the alcohol are pretty much driving the show along with that raspberry. And it's just tasty. It's definitely getting in that range now where it's starting to feel like a hair to dog beer, or like that Sam Ale kind of beer, that rich kind of malted flavor kind of beer. And it's just, fun stuff. And a beer that I think a lot of people, I never really heard a lot of people kind of yammer about this beer. And other than, select few people that like bigger ABV stuff. So if you never had it before, especially an age one, if you like that kind of vibe from, again, Hair of the Dog, old St. Ales from Avery, pick it up because I think you'd be surprised. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better fruit beers I've had as of late? Yeah. I don't even think it's that, but sure. Value and availability. These are usually pretty pricey, about $15, give or take a bottle. Probably more like 12 nowadays. A little bit wider distribution, at least by me. You can get a little bit lower, a little bit bigger, or a little bit higher depending on where you live. In Dogfish Head, I don't know who sees what. I know some states can't get the higher ABV stuff. So I'll leave you with, if you look at what we like this. Basically what's it, Avery, St. Ales, stuff like that. Hair of the Dog. If you like those beers, you'll probably like this, especially with some age on it. So there you go. Another review in the books. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers in Google if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing my podcast stuff. Brewing reviews, roundtables, all that fun stuff. Go check that out. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice big fruited beer right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.